Rants. Like and subscribe. Okay, so this is a new subject. So this may be your first time hearing me. This may be your 15th time hearing me. But you clicked on this. You saw the thumbnail, right? You clearly are a fan of classic hip-hop music, right? And I'm going to tell you, you're probably a fan of classic black cinema and classic black sitcoms, right? This is what I do, okay? Randumb Rants, okay? We love the lore, okay? And I'm sure you do too. That's why you clicked on this. Welcome. This is a different type of rant, okay? This is a different type of rant. This is a what if rant, okay? What if Christopher Wallace and Notorious B.I.G., let's say he wasn't in Cali that day, right? Let's say he went to London to promote his album like he was supposed to. Okay, and he survives. March 9th never happens. Well, then March 25th happens, of course, and Life After Death comes out. It's a release, a double disc, right? Bad Boy Records. This is Biggie's second album. But this rant is about the Life After Death tour. See, because what about the tour? You know, we never got a chance to see him perform these records live. But how does the tour play out? And that's why we have me, Randumb Rants. Okay? Now, I get it. You know hip-hop more than me. I get it. I don't know what I'm talking about. Whatever, you know. Go ahead and say that in the comments. Okay? Go ahead and disagree with me in the comments. But Rants put some thought into this. And guess who never thought about it? You. That's why you clicked on this, right? I know. I already know, though. But, now look. In Rant's world, right? Album comes out March 25th, okay? We're just going to say it's 97, right? We're just going to say tickets go on sale April 1st, okay? 97. And the album is received very well, you know? But the question is, who's going to open up on this tour, right? Now, of course, you know, you think bad boy artists, right? Some may say, well, you know, we can have 112, you know, for the ladies. Then we could probably have Mace. Then we can have Big go ahead and do his Life After Death show, right? And I mean, that makes sense. You know, if you're Puff, I guess, you know, but in Rant's world, this is the show that I came up with, right? So, the opening act will be the LOX. Yes, the LOX. And after them will be JayZ. Yes. See, you got to understand. Biggie is still alive. So Jay has to play second fiddle. He doesn't come up to prominence, you know. Biggie's still the king of New York. In fact, Biggie and Nas are actually clashing about the king of New York at this time. And this show is actually going to let Nas know, you know, who is truly the king, right? And as you can see, it's a lot of shows, right? And you're thinking like, well, why is it so many shows, you know? And that's simple. That's very simple. See, Biggie doesn't pass away. And naturally, his celebrity grows. He becomes a bigger star, right? Well, don't you think Tiana, mother, don't you think she wants some more money in child support? Because I'm going to tell you who won even more. His ex-wife. See, Biggie separated. In fact, Big is even questioning the baby that Faith is pregnant with. He said this on music. If Faith had twins, she'll probably have 2 Pucks. Get it? 2 Pucks. Oh yeah, we got it. We got it, Biggie. Loud and clear. So, they're going to do a paternity test. And the baby's going to be his little Chris. We know, Christopher Wallace Jr., right? And once that paternity test, tells Biggie, like, yeah, this boy is yours. Child support. And Faith is coming for that bag. You best believe that. She's coming for that bag. She's famous. And she's going to get hers. So, Biggie is doing a lot of dates. He's doing a lot of dates because he knows what's to come, right? And Biggie lives in New Jersey, so they're going to start the tour in New Jersey. They're going to do a lot of dates, and they're going to end the tour in Madison Square Garden. Yes. And of course, we expect everybody to pop out at the Madison Square show, right? Super Cat's going to be there, right? Mary J. Blige going to show up. Okay? Foxy Brown will be there to perform with Jay, right? We expect everybody to be there, right? This is the Madison Square Garden show. But who else is going to be on stage with Big, though? Well, we know C's is going to be hyping him up. We know that. We also expect Charlie Baltimore to play a part in this tour, too. And we'll get to her role. And I know you guys are going to disagree with that, right? But we'll get to her role. You also got to understand, right? You see dates like, okay, we have Chicago July 1st, right? That's right after the Bulls win a championship, right? Of course, R. Kelly is going to pop out on that show. Of course, right? You got the Cleveland show and you have the LA show, right? You can expect to see Bone Thugs pop out on those dates, right? We have an Atlanta show and an Oakland show. You guys got to remember, Too Short is featured on this album. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I remember Too Short does move to Atlanta. So, depending on what city he's in 97, Too Short, of course, is making an appearance, right? And it's 1997. I mean, of course, you may have to go to your Macy's or wherever you can get your Ticketmaster tickets at, right? You have to wait in the line. Maybe you can get it off your radio station, right? But the tickets are going to look similar to this. You're going to be happy, right? Like, yes, I'm going to see Big, and I get to see JayZ and the LOX too, Depending on what city you're in, you may get a special guest, right? But you got your ticket. And it's concert day and you're taking your girl, or maybe it's you and your boys, maybe it's you and your homegirls, right? You guys got your tickets and you guys feeling nice. You guys been sipping that Seagram's gin and juice, maybe some of that Cisco. I know it's 97, right? Little Alizé don't play. I know how y'all get down. Yeah, if you're a baller, you're pissy off the Chrissy. You're popping bottles of Moet, but you're pre-gaming, right? You're probably blowing a bag of that Branson, some Reggie Bo, but it was good back then. It got you mellow. You was puffing the la la la, right? And your pre-game is down and you're walking into your stadium, right? You get your snacks, you get your $7 chicken strips, your drinks, whatever you decide to get, right? You get to your seat. And what do you know? It's DJ Mr. C. Yeah, he's playing those classic Mary J. Blige hits from the early 90s. Classic hits from Biggie's Ready to Die album. You're excited. You're like, okay, all right, I'm feeling the vibe in here, You're excited, right? It's 97, right? Then the lights cut off. DJ Mr. C say, "You guys ready for the opening act? I can't hear y'all. Hey," whatever respective city you're in, "you guys ready for the opening act?" Everybody like, "Yay! Yeah, we'll come into the stage. Y'all may know them as the Warlocks, but they changed up. The LOX!" And you see 3 men pop out, right? Now, at the time, they only have 3 songs. One of them songs, right? First song they came out with was "We'll Always Love Big Papa," a tribute to Big because In reality, Big passes away. But let's be realistic now, because in Rant's world, they still have that studio time. Big just doesn't pass away. They put that energy in another song, right? And they perform that song. They do their version of Victory on a different beat. Understand that, because Puff is still going to come out with that song. They do If You Think I'm Jiggy. Do you guys even know about that song? They do that, right? They do a earlier version of Money, Power, Respect, right? And then, they may do a couple of freestyles just to warm up the crowd. This is the LOX, right? It's the LOX. Then, they go off stage and you get Mr. C out there. He's cutting records, right? And he's playing Big Daddy Kane. He's playing Rakim. Hey y'all, I can't hear y'all out there. Y'all ready for the next set? Everybody, they screaming. They can't wait, right? They screaming. Coming to the stage, Mr. Millionaire before a million records sold. Mr. Go buck for buck with a rapper with only a single going gold. Mr. I used to get it in Maryland. The greatest to ever do it and never got caught. JayZ. Oh, and the crowd is going crazy. Now, not as crazy as they would go today. Understand, it's 97. It's a different JayZ. But you hear, boom, 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 boom. And you already know he's coming out to that Can I Live? That, Yeah, you already know he coming out to that Can I Live, right? See, this is Jay in A Reasonable Doubter transitioning in my lifetime, right? He's ready to be on that commission album with Big, right? He's ready to play his part, And like I said, he starts off with Can I Live, right? Then he goes right into the I Don't Want to Be Alone verse. Where he talks greasy on the R&B records, right? Goes right into that, right? Then he goes into I'm feeling it. Feel a passing up in my way. You already know, man. He's going into feeling it, right? Then he goes right into Can't Knock the Hustle. You see Dame is right there. Dame is his biggest fan. Don't ever let the videos get it twisted. Dame believed in Jay when only Jay believed in Jay, right? Nobody else believed in him. Dame is right beside him, right? Of course he does Dead Presidents too. Then he brings Bleak out, right? Young Marcy Malik. He brings Bleak out and they do Coming of Age, right? Then he gives you Friend or Foe. Then he's going to go into Imaginary Player, which is controversial, right? Had a talk with Barry Baines about this. Now, Barry's under the impression that Big is still alive and he's squashing all beefs between Jay and Mace. But that's not necessarily true. See, they're beefing over Ariane, a female. Yeah, female. And Jay is petty. And it's 97. Guess what? Only person that knows they're getting dissed in this song, that Imaginary Player song, is Mace. Nobody else knows. He's just performing something, right? And Jay is going to end his set off with his biggest hit at the time. It's 1997. Remember, he's ending his set with Ain't No Ninja. Yes, I keep you fresher than the next chick. Indeed, for you to ever sweat the next chick. With speed, I make the next chick see the exit. Come on now, we already know that, right? And I get it, we're in the mid-2020s, but understand, that was his biggest song. That was actually his only hit at that time. He's ending his sets off with that song. Okay? Boom. Now we get Mr. C, right? Jay exits the stage, right? Now Mr. C is back out there cutting records, right? Cutting records. He's a DJ. And he's playing Wu-Tang. He's playing Mace. He's playing 112. All of the hits back then, right? But then the lights cut off and we're focused on the screen, right? And we hear church bells. Then we hear a choir singing softly. Then a funeral program appears on the big screen of course, the Notorious B.I.G. And a preacher says, Christopher Wallace, gone too soon. Then we see a casket, right? Sitting center stage. And I want you guys to understand it's sitting upright, as if it's standing up, right? Then the lights go black again. Then we hear Puff say the infamous, yeah, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. And you know, he goes through the whole prayer and that beat plays and Biggie walks out with a cane, right? Rapping the lyrics to you're nobody till somebody kills you. That's the opening song. He's starting out hard. By the time he's telling you that he's hitting Fanny spinning chips at Manny's, and with his sycamore style, more sicker than yours, by the time he get to that part, he done tossed the cane. Now he's letting everybody know my leg isn't broken. The crowd is going crazy. He can do this every night, okay? Because the internet don't really exist yet. It does, but it's like not social media, right? People don't have cell phones like that. Like they're not recording everything, right? They do, but they're not recording everything. It's not smartphone era, right? So he's doing this every night, and every city is like, oh my God, Biggie's leg isn't broke. I can't believe it. Now, let's nip this in the bud right now. Let's talk about the songs he's not going to do. Okay, he's not performing another with Lil' Kim. It's one of his worst songs ever, my opinion, right? He's also not going to do Long Kiss Goodnight and Who Shot Ya, out of respect for Tupac, who passed a year prior. So he's not going to do those songs. I'm so sorry, right? But after You're Nobody Till Somebody Kills You, we go right into Hypnotize. Biggie, 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 can't you see? That's a single. He's going right into that. Then he's literally every single city, right? He's like, how y'all feel about Nas? Y'all like Nas? Y'all like them Queens ninjas? Yeah. Hey, well, tell him Queens still making it and Brooklyn still taking it. And then he performs Kick in the Door. Yeah, this goes out to you. This goes out to you. And you. And you. Yeah. Your reign at the top was short as leprechauns. Come on, man. He's going right in dissing Nas. Then after that record, right, Big is going to go in the back and change clothes. But while he's doing that, we're going to see C-Rock and C's. They're walking out, on stage, and they're just, chilling, minding their business. They're going to get into it with like 3 random actors, right? And C-Rock is going to get hit up. He's going to get shot, right? And this leads to the stage going black, right? And when the lights come on, we see Biggie with black gloves, a t-shirt, and Tim's on, and he does Somebody's Gotta Die, right? Which of course is like the revenge song because somebody hit up his man C-Rock, right? So he does that song. Then he goes right into What's Beef, because now he has to let you know what beef is, Then he goes into Ninjas Bleed, giving you a great show. After Ninjas Bleed, he's going right into 10 Crack Commandments, right? Then from there, the stage is going black again. And we're focused on, the screen, right? The screen that's up there on the stage, right? And you see Puff calling Big, and Big is sleeping in his bed, and he answers the phone, and Puff is like, wake up, it's 5:45. We got a 7:30 flight. 5:04 leaving Kennedy, going to LAX. Come on, man. Get up. And Big is like, I'm up, man. I'm up. All right, I'll be there. You see Big rushing back on stage, right? Zipping up his jacket and everything, but they playing that classic, I'm going back to Cali. Oh yeah, he's cranking. This is a great show. Classic show. He's cranking. You see, you can see the visuals. Close your eyes when you're watching this. You can see the visuals, right? After that, JayZ comes out and they do I Love the Dough. And they do Brooklyn's Finest. Yep. Understand, right? Biggie's still alive, right? So he does the video for More Money, More Problems, right? And he does his verse off that right after Brooklyn's Finest, right? Then he does his verse off of Notorious Thugs. Then he does his verse off of Effing You Tonight, featuring R. Kelly. Now, I want you guys to understand this, right? If we're in Cleveland, if we're in LA, Bone Thugs is coming out after that Notorious Thugs surprise. Guess they're going to do that song, and then they're going to do like 2 songs. They're going to probably do Crossroads and another song, right? Probably first of the month. They're going to do 2 songs. If we're in Chicago, we're going to do Notorious Thugs. Biggie's going to do that. Then he's going to do Effing You Tonight, right? R. Kelly is going to come out and he's going to do 2 or 3 songs. He might do Down Low. He might do Bump and Grind, but he's going to do 2 or 3 songs too, right? But then after that, we get into the Get Money remix. And this is where Charlie Baltimore comes into play. Now, I know you guys are going to disagree with this, right? Biggie's not playing fair at all. He's with Charlie now. They're an item, right? I know you guys are going to say Charlie would never do this, but I believe Biggie is going to manipulate a situation where Charlie is going to be on stage saying Lil' Kim's rhymes in the Get Money remix. Okay? I know you guys probably don't agree with that. Chew me out in the comments though, but that's how I feel. That's what I think is going to happen, right? From there, we're going to go right to Players Anthem. And of course, Charlie will be doing Kim's verse in that too, right? Then we'll be doing One More Chance. He's doing his hits now. We go right into One More Chance. Then we go into Juicy. Then we go into Big Papa, right? Then we do Only You remix featuring 112, of course. And then we end the show off with Sky's the Limit. Yes, I really think he will end his show off with Sky's the Limit, right? And I can picture Big standing alone on stage, right, while the music is fading. And on the screens behind him, you'll see childhood photos, right? And childhood footage of Big. And you'll see Brooklyn and everything, right? And he'll be like, thanks, Duke. Y'all made a kid from Brooklyn dreams come true. I'll see y'all, And then he's going to walk back into the casket, right? But on the video, it's going to have his mother, right? It's going to have his mother, Valletta Wallace, right? She's going to be saying a prayer. And Biggie is going to be getting baptized. And that's going to start the Born Again. That's going to start the whole Born Again fiasco. But of course, he'll have to do the whole entertainment and everything and sign Cameron and everything. And that's that, though. But that is the show. And you saw this and you're like, oh my God, this is the most amazing show ever. I can't believe it. It's a great show. And you're going to tell your kids, and their kids is going to tell their kids, like, yeah, granddad saw Biggie back in the day, the Life After Death concert. Everybody knows this, right? But I'm going to tell y'all this. If y'all really liking this, I could do a spinoff of this, and I could tell y'all Rant's theory of what happens to Biggie's life. His whole life. We'll do his whole life if he doesn't, pass away in 97. But this was just a tour. I hope y'all like it. Like and subscribe. Randumb Rants.